G'day, it's Austin. And over the past 4 years, I've made 25 mil online, tried a bunch of different business models. And if you're watching this video, you're probably trying to figure out what business model is for you. You're seeing all these different ones on YouTube, on your Instagram feed. You don't know which one to choose. I'm gonna break down 5 different online business models, ones that I've personally tried myself, so I can give you some real feedback on what I liked about them and what I didn't like about them, so you can find the best business model for you. Now, I wrote this book. It's called 5 High Profit Online Businesses. This PDF here, I gave it away as a PDF. Here, I got it made into a physical book because it looks better for the video. And in here, I broke down everything. And I was giving this away online and gave away 48,000 copies of it. 48,000. So this has been used by a lot of people and I got some amazing feedback on this. So that's what we're going to be breaking down here. And I've created this matrix here that we're going to analyze these different business models based off of. So you can see that some of them are amazing for some reasons and not so good for others, and you can pick the right one for you. And what we're really trying to do here is not just break down these different business models, but really figure out which one is the best for you to get to 100K as soon as possible. So you can find a business model that can start making you good money. You can potentially quit your job and focus on this full time. So you have freedom, which is what everyone wants. So the columns we're going to use to compare these different business models are unitary gain. So this is how much money you make per transaction, startup capital, how much money you need to invest into the business to get started, margin, so how much you keep out of everything you make in revenue, time demand, how much of your time is required to run and grow the business, growth difficulty, which is how difficult it is to grow this to a full job replacing level, and then ease of operations. So how simple the business is to understand, to run, and to grow. And I'm gonna compare these 4 business models to start with, and then together we'll create sort of what I think is the ideal business model based on everything that we find here. First one, affiliate marketing. So affiliate marketing is when you sell other people's products and get a commission from them. For example, you find a physical or digital product or software online, you sell it by advertising it on your own, and every time you get a sale, the owner gives you a chunk of the sale. Now, to be honest, out of all of these business models that I've tried over the past few years, affiliate marketing is the one I've made the least amount of money with. I've used it to make over $100,000, so I thought it makes sense if I put it on here, but definitely not the one I have the most experience with. And so we're gonna start with unitary gain. Now, anywhere I've got pink, I didn't have a yellow marker, and yellow would be kind of difficult to see on the video. So we've got it in pink. This is the middle ground. Unitary gain, for every sale you're getting, affiliate marketing, look, the commission, depending on what you're selling, could be anywhere between $50 to $250. So it's not so bad. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. Startup capital. This is one of the issues I've seen with affiliate marketing, is that unless you have affiliate marketing attached to another business model, and I can talk about that a bit later, you have to fork out all this money on advertising to create the attention to get sales. Now I'm factoring this in. You're a complete beginner. You don't have anything to start with. You don't have a massive personal brand that you can just tell people to go and buy this product or this service or digital thing that you're being an affiliate for. I'm thinking you're a complete beginner because that's why you're here and you just want to figure out which one is going to get you to the promised land and make you 100K as quickly as possible. So startup capital, quite expensive. Got to fork out money to get attention on your affiliate marketing offer and actually get sales. The margin on affiliate marketing, anywhere between 10 to 30%. You can luck out and get an amazing affiliate deal with some businesses, but generally speaking, between 10 and 30%, which is pretty low if we compare it to other business models and the kind of profit margin that you can actually get. It's just something to keep in mind. The next thing, time demand. Sort of middle of the range. You know, once you get it all set up, of course there will be experimenting with different ad offers or whatever your marketing strategy is to get sales for this affiliate marketing offer. You're gonna test new angles, try new platforms. It does require some time. Growth difficulty, sort of middle of the range as well. Look, if you crack it and you get an angle that performs really well for an affiliate offer, then you can just sort of let it run and not have to do much. But actually growing and scaling, it's gonna require more ads, more content, something. So it's gonna require quite a bit to keep going and growing. And then the last part is ease of ops. Now this is extremely easy. And so once you have an offer that is cranking, once you have a system to get people into this affiliate offer, the ease of ops is basically nothing because you're bringing someone to someone else's product or service or offering. You don't have to deliver the thing yourself. That's one of the beauties of affiliate marketing, is that you can just be the marketer on the front end and get the sales. They have to worry about delivery, fulfillment, making sure the customer's happy. And so that is an amazing benefit of affiliate marketing. And that's why I think it's so powerful when you connect it with other things, is that you don't have to worry about the delivery of it. So there's affiliate marketing, first model. Now let's move on to the next one. This one holds a very special place in my heart. Social media marketing agency, SMMA. Now, a social media marketing agency is a service-based business where you deliver a service remotely related to online marketing, content creation, something else like that, in exchange for a fee. And this is where it all really started for me. I went from being a videographer. So I could add maybe another one, which is freelance, but look, I didn't think that was the best one to get to 100K as fast as possible, make your first 6 figures. But I started as a videographer, and then when COVID hit, I went into creating an agency so I could service e-commerce brands and make video ads for them. And so I spent a few years in this business model. And so straight off the bat, there are some massive positives to running an agency. The unitary gain, 500 to 1,000. Now this is an undershot from my experience. I've got clients to pay 2, 3, 4, 5K before. And with agency services, you can justify it because you're delivering a results-driven service. That's the big difference there. Not a convenience offer, something that's just nice for someone to pay you for, but a genuine results-driven service, something that pays the client more because they work with you. And so with the unitary gain, this is an undershot. It could be 500 bucks to 5,000. You're able to charge a lot for agency services, especially if you're delivering something that actually works. So that's a massive benefit of social media marketing, is that you could have less clients and have less stress and make the same as some of these other business models. Startup capital, very low. You could start selling services if, look, I'm thinking you're a complete beginner and you've got absolutely zero skills. Look, I'm gonna factor in, it's gonna take maybe a little bit of money to learn. Maybe you purchase an Udemy subscription or Skillshare, or you watch YouTube videos, which I know is free, but you upskill and you gotta learn what you're actually gonna offer to someone. Now with an agency, you could outsource that. You could have a freelancer that knows how to deliver the service, and you just start doing outreach. Cold outreach through email, phone call, DMs, could be anything. And so I'm just gonna put in there, it's very low startup capital to start an agency. It's a service-based business, which at the start can be based on your time, but over time, you can outsource and delegate to other people so that you can be the agency owner, work on the business and not in the business. That's what I did. I started by, look, an SMMA, I was a videographer. I started with that. I was delivering the service myself. I was labeling myself as an agency because I had a couple of editors behind the scenes. But then it became an actual social media marketing and content agency where I worked with 100 different e-commerce brand clients, and we were making UGC, and I wasn't involved in the process at all. I would just get the clients. I was focused on the sales and marketing on the front end, and then the team would actually deliver the service, script the ads, work with content creators, and actually get them made. Now let's talk about margin. When you're delivering a service, margins can be really high. And that's another beautiful benefit of building an agency, is that you might sign a client for a few $1,000s, and because of the way you're able to either deliver the service yourself, so you are trading your time for money, but the margin is extremely high on that, or even outsource to low cost but highly skilled talent, then you can have amazing margins. And so this is a great way here to have a really profitable business. But now we get into the second part of this, and this is where things become a little bit more difficult, I've found, with an agency. And I probably should have said this at the start, but with an agency, I made 460K in revenue. So by no means the biggest agency person ever. I don't promote agency services. I'm just talking about my experience with that business model. And I found with time demand, it was really high. Reason why is I was spending so much time trying to get new clients. Cold outreach, Zoom calls, early in the morning, late at night. I was based in Australia at the time when I was living back in Adelaide, and I was selling and marketing to US clients and clients based in Europe. And so I was getting up early, staying up late, as I'm sure a lot of people do when they're running a business, but I was putting in a lot of time, new systems, researching what kind of ads we should make for our clients, all these things, because I was running a creative agency. And so I found the time demand, I was just spending all my time trying to grow this thing, trying to automate it, systemize it, make it more of an agency so I could enjoy the benefits of these first 3 sections. So that's the time demand. It was very high. Definitely wasn't a hands-off business for me. I think some people, they're just maybe more skilled than me and they can delegate and outsource this agency model and just have an amazing, I guess, not work-life balance, but not feel like all their time is consumed by the agency. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that. Growth difficulty, hard. Now again, I found because it's a service-based business and because of these benefits here, it does make it a bit harder to grow. Now, to make your first 100K, it might be a bit more streamlined, but if you want to push beyond that, there is a level of difficulty in the growth. And I find that you might be really good at getting the clients, but actually keeping them and getting them to stay with you and work with you every single month, which is one of the beauties of the SMMA model, the recurring revenue from signing clients on a retainer. You really need to make sure your service offering is absolutely locked in and delivering great results. Otherwise, they're not going to come back. And growth is incredibly difficult if all your clients come in, they work with you for a month and they leave. And so even with the ease of ops, hard. To deliver an amazing service as an agency to actually get incredible results for clients depends on what service you're offering. And some services just absolutely crush it for most brands and most companies that an agency works with. I was working as a creative agency, so I was making ads for them to use in their Facebook and Instagram advertising. It was a competitive space. Lots of creative on these platforms. You're going to make ads that work. And so, yeah, we had great client success, great results from our clients. But I found it was still difficult because they're always changing. There's new ad types they want you to make. There's new trends that are working well for creative, UGC, graphics, other things. And so I'd say growth difficulty, it requires a lot to grow a big agency or even just acquire clients. Because if you're a complete newbie, you've got no skills and nothing going for you, and you don't leverage case studies from freelancers you work with, it's incredibly difficult to grow. And then also you got to stand out. There's like 1,000,001 agencies. It's 1,000,001 of all these, but because agencies involve a degree of outreach, reaching out to businesses, these companies, whether e-commerce brands, local businesses, whatever, their inbox is filled with people trying to pitch them services and say, we could do XYZ for you in 90 days or your money back. Like, there's a lot of people out there. Beyond just obviously delivering an amazing service, it's very team heavy, building an agency. It's quite team heavy. Now you might automate it and delegate it to an extent, but you're still going to need people. You're going to need freelancers, virtual assistants, people that are going to deliver the service if you want to step out of it and have it be automated and grow, to give you that freedom, not just financially, but time and location. And so I found at the peak, I think I was managing a team of 12 freelancers, editors, creative directors, strategists, virtual assistants, people helping with outreach and sales, and a lot of them were involved in the creative process. And so I had to manage that team. I had to make sure they were happy. I had to make sure that they were getting paid well. I had to make sure that everything was organized for them. And so ease of ops, you've got to manage people, a lot of people at times, and that can be difficult. So affiliate marketing done, social media marketing agency done. As I said, holds a very special place in my heart because that's where I really started with online business. Dropshipping. Dropshipping. Where do I begin with dropshipping? It's done so much for me. I've been in the e-commerce world for a long time. And so I've been around this for a very long time. So let's jump straight in and I'll talk more about my experience with dropshipping as we go on. Unitary gain. Dropshipping, look, you could sell slightly lower ticket products, which the margins and the amount you make per order is just not really there. It's tough. But you can also sell higher ticket products and you can make really good margins. So I sort of put it in this middle ground because sometimes you can have a great product that is more expensive that you sell. Sometimes you can have really cheap products. And so you're sort of in that middle ground. Startup capital. You need money for ads. You need to test products. And it's not just money for ads. It's the fact that with traditional dropshipping, you have to test lots of products before you find one that has scaling potential, that you could potentially grow and it could make you 100K. And so it's not just 1,000 to 5,000 that you're spending on ads for one product. It's that you're not going to luck out and get your winner on your first try. If you do, congratulations, you're one of the lucky few. That's just not how dropshipping typically works. And so here you might expect to spend quite a bit of money. And if you're a complete beginner and you don't have any money to start with, then, or very little, that's just probably not the best business model to go with. Also on top of that, the margins. very low margins, 10 to 30%. Now 30%, look, these margins here, we're talking online business margins. Like physical business margins might be a lot lower, but we're talking about online business. Online business, which is highly profitable, gives you the freedom to be anywhere at any time. And so here in the scheme of online business, dropshipping has a relatively low profit margin. And so 10 to 30%. Now, generally speaking, you'd probably be in the middle of that range, maybe 20, 25% if you've got a store that's branded, that looks good, all those things, but still, it's not that high. Now, time demand. When you crack it with dropshipping, it's pretty low time demand. You get one virtual assistant that can do your customer support for you and handle order fulfillment, and you're pretty sweet. You just spend time on ads. You spend time on, okay, how do I grow my Facebook campaigns? What I've found with dropshipping is that the way you can automate and delegate it makes it really attractive, and the fact that you can just focus on marketing. That's what you tend to be as a dropshipper, is a marketer. That's what you're thinking about most of the time. Maybe it's a new product that you want to launch, but really underneath that, it is, what do I need to do with my ads? What new creative should I launch? How do I scale this? So time demand, really low. You can basically automate your whole dropshipping business and just go and chill on a beach somewhere. And yes, it'll probably stagnate and not keep scaling aggressively, but the principle is there. Requires pretty low investment of your time once you are up and running and getting sales. Growth difficulty. I've put this as medium. You can see here, for all of these businesses, I didn't put any of them as particularly easy to grow. Now, some of them, it was a tad easier than others, but I think growing any business isn't easy. It's simple, like there's a process to follow, but it's not inherently easy to do. And so with this, it's in the middle, similar to affiliate marketing. I think growing a good dropshipping store that has a great product is, it's okay. It's not super difficult. It's not super easy either, but it's not going to be the end of the world. It's not going to force you to spend all this time glued to your laptop to scale that up. And then ease of operations, easy. Small team, maybe one virtual assistant. To get to 100K, you could either do it yourself, but if you just wanted to delegate everything, like I've done when I've done e-commerce, very easy to operate. And I've done a lot with dropshipping. I've done over $13.5 million with dropshipping, but I did it slightly differently, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, dropshipping, great business model. Again, you've got the negatives at the front, but it's such an easy business to run and operate and scale once you've cracked finding a good product, once you've cracked getting that front end sorted out. Last one here, info products. Info products. It's all the rage at the moment. Sell things, sell courses. Everyone assumes that info products are so easy. It's like the cop-out. It's the thing you do when you just want to rake it in and be a guru. Now, I have found it to be quite different, and I'm going to tell you my honest experience. Let's not beat around the bush. Unitary gain, it's great. If you can sell an info product, and by extension of that, I'm also talking coaching. If you can sell a package, if you can sell a course, if you can sell something like that, it could be a low-ticket digital product, an info product, $50, maybe even less, maybe around that price point, all the way up to $2,000, maybe even $5,000. And so you've got a lot of money there for each sale. You can sell it very expensively. Similar to agency, there's a lot of money to be made with that front end sale. But startup capital, it's expensive. Now, as a beginner, you don't have a social media following. You don't have a big audience that you can market your info product to straight away. So what do you have to do? You have to let people know about it. How do you do that? With marketing and advertising, they cost money, it's cost dinero. And so 1,000 to 5,000 is a reasonable estimate startup capital to start a info product business that is actually getting sales. Now, I've spent a lot of money on selling courses and coaching over the past few years. I think I looked in the ad account the other day, spent well over $1 million. I just don't know how many million it is on Facebook ads. A lot. That wasn't at the start, and we didn't launch with massive ad budgets, but it did require money, a lot of money, for advertising and for people to know about it. And if you don't have a good course or coaching, and you spend this money on advertising and letting people know about it, you don't do it smart at the beginning, you waste a lot of money. You waste a lot of money. Margin though, 40 to 80%. Now, I've been sort of in the middle of this range with my time selling info products and coaching because I've gone more team heavy. Now, if you just sell an info product, a digital asset, like a video series, a video course, and there's no coaching and nothing else attached to it, you might have 95% margins, depending on your marketing source. And that's kind of unreasonable to think if you don't have an existing audience to market that to. Let's say you did. Let's say you're a niche expert in your field Even as a beginner to online business, you could make much higher margins than this with info products. But I'm thinking, look, you've got team, you've got advertising costs, you've got things going on. And so let's say it's in that 40 to 80% mark. The digital side of that brings up the average, because if you're just selling a course, series of video lessons that have zero cost to fulfill, you create them once, you sell them a million times over, of course you're going to have great margins. But I've also factored in with info products, there is maybe coaching offers that are part info, so actual video lessons, but then also part coaching, live calls, one-on-one support, other things, which is what I've done when I've built this. And the company I've built that sells info products and coaching is called Freedom Club. We're one of the fastest growing online e-commerce education communities in the world. Taught over 25,000 people how to start their own customer first e-commerce brand. I've had quite a bit of experience with info products, and it's a business I still actively grow alongside dropshipping and e-commerce. So I still do, these are the two business models I actively do. I do a bit of affiliate marketing, but it's attached to the info product. Social media marketing agency, I don't do anymore. I stopped that to go all in on e-commerce at the time. And now just before we keep going, I'll explain how affiliate marketing can link in with info products briefly, because I don't think it's that important for this video. If you're selling a course and that course tells people to use a certain platform or tool, for example, with my info product and my coaching program, we tell people to use Shopify, the platform you need to build an e-commerce store. There's other platforms out there. I just think they're rubbish. Shopify is the one you should use. And so instead of just sending people to the homepage of Shopify, Shopify has a partner program. And so I can get a link, an affiliate link, and then share it with everyone in the info product community that wants to learn from me and say, please use this link instead of the normal link. I then get paid from Shopify. And so you'll see here, it's coming from an existing user base or customers here. I'm not advertising the Shopify affiliate offer to new people. I'm just presenting it to the people that have already decided to learn from me. So that's how I sort of tie those in together. Now let's go to the last three here. Time demand. I'm saying medium, because if you're selling a complete digital product, there's no coaching, nothing, then it would be extremely low time demand. But I'm saying for the ones that do have an element of coaching, which a lot of info products nowadays do have as an element of an online community where the founder is active in it. You know, I just actually finished a live call today with my paid community and talking to them about e-commerce and helping them troubleshoot their stores or help them scale. And so there's still an element of my time that's required for that to operate. We're pitching an offer that involves me being on calls and only do one a week, but there's other time demand involved. You know, managing the team, there's quite a lot going on. We've got a big team for the education business. Then we go growth difficulty. Now I'm gonna say extremely hard here. Reason why, there's a lot of info products and courses in our industry. We came into an industry of teaching e-commerce. There was lots of people teaching e-commerce. It wasn't anything new. Yes, we had our unique way of doing e-commerce, but still at the core, we're teaching e-commerce and dropshipping. And so there's a lot of people out there, and it's kind of hard to grow it when they think you're just like everyone else. So you have to spend a lot of time crafting ads, crafting VSLs, landing pages that convince them otherwise, or starting with a lower ticket price point to stack case studies and social proof of student results so that you can grow it, which is difficult and takes time. And so the growth difficulty, I'm saying not just hard, extremely hard. Like out of all these business models, I think growing an ultra successful info product business is the hardest one out of these four. And I say that from experience. And I'm not saying that because I'm like, don't do info products and because you're now going to be my competition if you start. Go for it. You'll learn the hard way. There's a lot more to it than just, I'm selling a course. There's a lot more that goes into it, especially if you want to over deliver on results. You actually want the people that join your course or your coaching to get life-changing results. Then it's an extremely hard business to grow. Ease of ops though, sort of middle of the range again. Quite team heavy, especially if you're growing an info product offer that is higher ticket, you're likely gonna need a sales team. Sales team, don't get me started. Like they're pretty tricky to manage compared to other types of people in a business. You know, they come, they go, they're hot, they're cold, they're yes, they're no. It's like a Katy Perry song. And so they're quite difficult to manage, but virtual assistants, maybe video editors, maybe other people behind the scenes, much easier to work with. And so that's where it sort of levels out. Ease of ops, middle of the range. As a founder, and you're trying to grow a successful info product or coaching business, you're probably gonna need to make content about yourself online as well. What am I doing? I'm doing it right now. There's effort that goes into this. And so even in operations of creating video lessons or content that you're gonna sell, Yes, you make it once, but you still have to develop that, figure out what works, take on board customer feedback, and actually run a business that gets people results. Now, let's fill out this last row with, what are we going to fill it with? The ideal business model. This is from my experience, making 25 mil online. That's in revenue, not profit, by the way. People get mad at me when I say that. They're like, oh, you didn't make 25 mil. Yeah, I made it in revenue. It just sounds cooler. Ideal business model. So we're going to fill in some of these things here. And of course, we're going to do them all in green because it wouldn't be the ideal business model if we didn't fill it all in green, because green is a good color. So what we're going to say here, we're going to be somewhat realistic with this ideal business model because we're going to have to make trade-offs. Like we can't have a thing that we sell for 2,000 that requires zero startup capital, has 100% margins, and is easy on all these other things. Like it's just unrealistic. And that's what I've seen. Like online businesses have their drawbacks, have their compromises, and they're better for some people than they are for others. But this ideal business model that I'm going to talk about here has made me millions, and it's been the business model I've loved the most. And so let's talk about it. I'm going to say the unitary gain is between $100 and $300. Now, reason why it's not higher, reason why it's not lower. This gives you, in a sec, we'll talk about margin. It gives you enough margin to play with. You're not overstretching and have to figure out a way to sell things for thousands of dollars so you can do it as a beginner and you don't have to be highly skilled or be an elite person in your field or the best marketer to be able to sell advertising services or creative services for thousands of dollars. It puts you in this spot where as a beginner, you can reasonably make that work. You, as a beginner, can sell things between $100 and $300 quite comfortably, and it's not going to be an issue. Next one, startup capital. This is where I have a slightly different opinion from other people. I probably have slightly different opinions from other people on a lot of things on this, but startup capital, in an ideal business model, I actually don't want it to be zero. I want it to be just a little bit. Just a little bit, because it's going to deter anyone who thinks, oh, I'm just going to start this for free. It's going to weed out the riffraff that aren't serious about starting an online business. And it's going to mean that it's not oversaturated with, players that just aren't interested in making this work. So I want a bit of startup capital. I don't want to sink thousands into this, but I want to know that if I spend a bit, I can get good returns. It's a reasonable trade-off to make. I'm willing to pay a little bit so that I can get access to this better business model that can get me to 100K as fast as possible. And because of that, I'd love to sit here and say, look, I just want 90% margins. That's the most unrealistic thing ever, especially as a beginner. So I'm going to be completely happy with 20 to 35% margins. If I can get 20 to 35% margins with these other unit economics here, I know I'm good. I know I'm good. As a beginner, that's more than you can ask for. Like that's amazing. Now, time demand. Of course, an ideal business would have low time demand. You don't want to be spending all day running it. You want it to be pretty simple. And growth difficulty, of course, we would want it to be easy to grow. Now, I know I said earlier on that no business is inherently easy to grow. It could be simple to grow. It's a proven recipe or process to follow. But let's overstretch it here. I want something that's leaning on the more easier side to grow. I want it to be not just simple, but look, I've got the recipe, boom, boom, boom. Oh, sweet, it's growing. It's more straightforward. And last thing, ease of ops. I think you can see where we're going with this. Green marker in hand. I want it to be easy to run. I didn't come here to have this ideal business model and then for it to be the most difficult thing ever. So let's go through that ideal business model again from start to finish. The ideal business, when it comes to unitary gain, it should be enough where you only need to sell a handful a day to make enough profit to get to 100K relatively quickly and have money for yourself. It should also require reasonably low startup capital, but not zero, otherwise everyone would do it and it would be completely saturated. Now for margins, you want something that not only has a solid margin, but has low costs, so you can grow it profitably and keep a good percentage of everything you make. You also want something with low time demand, so you can spend less time working and more time traveling, living, and enjoying life. And look, I know we could think, I just want to make as much money as possible. I don't care about the balance, about living life, about enjoying life. But for me, I want to build an online business that can allow me to actually enjoy my life and not be glued to my laptop all day, every day. So that's what we're looking at for time demand. We want something that's relatively easy to grow to the 10K per month mark in profit. It's a classic number that's thrown around online for online business, but that number will give you financial freedom. Most people replaces your job, you're sweet, and you can start living how you want to live. And get you to 100K as fast as humanly possible. We want it to be relatively easy or at least very straightforward. And we want a business that is easy to operate, it's simple to understand, and it's simple to grow. Now for me, in my online business journey of trialing all these different business models, of making all these millions online at a young age, I've found that this business model right here, if I could tick these boxes, that would not only give me the financial freedom that I wanted, but also the time and location freedom, as I talked about before. And look, you might be watching this and say, I love the sound of affiliate marketing. I love the sound of building a social media marketing agency, and each to their own. And you could choose one of these business models, and maybe this isn't your ideal business model. This is just the one that's made me the most money. And so I've found from trialing all these, this was the one I like the best. And what I found for this ideal business model is that it's a product-based business, not a service-based business. Customers are willing to spend $100 to $300 per order, and they come back from you and buy it again and again. So every time you get a customer, you're essentially making a lot more money long-term. That's very important. It has low startup capital and can be run 100% online, low time demand, ease of ops. You could add another one here that's just for location freedom. And it can be run from anywhere in the world with very little daily involvement. That was the ideal business for me. And honestly, with all of that in mind and all my experience, the business that operates like that is an e-commerce business. And the problem is when people think about e-commerce, they tend to think about classic dropshipping. And you'll see the reason these two are separate, because classic dropshipping has a lot more drawbacks than this ideal business model that I want to share with you. The problem with traditional dropshipping is that people sell garbage products, shipping from China with ultra slow shipping times, and they completely ignore customer support. So what do? You get a business that, yeah, it can be easy to run and scale, but you're upsetting customers and you have razor thin margins. And so it basically puts you in this very difficult position. But the e-commerce global industry is growing year on year. It's got trillions in it, and it's growing by hundreds of billions more every single year. And so we can't ignore that kind of growth. And especially if you're a beginner, you just want to get a very small slice of a very big pie. And that massive pie is e-commerce. It's not going anywhere. So the $1 million question becomes, how do I make the most of the global e-commerce industry growing year on year, hundreds of billions more every single year? How do I make the most of that without resorting to traditional dropshipping? How do I do it? And that's where the customer first brand model comes in. Look at that, that sounded so nice. That is my ideal business model, and that is the one that has made me millions online. That is the business model that has given me not just financial freedom, but time and location freedom. Now, what makes building a customer first brand different from a traditional dropshipping store is that we sell problem-solving products that people actually need. We sell from local suppliers so that customers get their orders in days, not weeks. And then when orders do come in, we make sure we deliver a kick-ass service so that people keep coming back. And we don't have to play this ongoing game of acquisition, trying to get sales, just to convince people to spend money with you one time. How about we build a customer first brand and they keep coming back again and again? So every dollar you spend on advertising, every push you do with your marketing, every sale you get is not just one sale, but a big percentage of those people are going to come back and buy from you again in the future because they love you. Those are the pillars of a customer first brand. Now we've gotten to this point. We've broken down all these different business models. I've told you the one that's generated me millions in profit. And you're probably thinking, well, this all sounds great. It doesn't sound particularly easy. Like, how am I going to learn how to build a customer first brand when all of the information about e-commerce on YouTube, on Instagram, online is about building a traditional dropshipping store? Well, you're in luck, my good friend, because I created a free course. Free. $0. When I say free, it's free. Zilch, Zippo. If you want to join it, I walk you through step by step how to build your own customer first e-commerce brand in 30 days for free. How to find a product, even if you have no idea what product to sell. Build a website, even if you're not particularly tech savvy. And how to get sales for it, even if you've never done any marketing or advertising before. I'll walk you through step by step so you can get your first sale. And it's free. I like reiterating the free part because most people forget that. And they're like, oh, you're just trying to sell me a course. It's free, brother, chill out. So if you want to learn how to build a customer first brand, this is the pitch of the video, but it's free, so I don't think you'll mind. Then you can click the link in the description and you can join my 30-day first sale challenge. Walks you through step by step, exactly what I said, how to build a customer first brand and how to make the most of that growing e-commerce industry that is not going anywhere in a way that you enjoy, in a way that brings value to people and isn't just selling trashy dropshipping products, and in a way that's sustainable so you can have these results for years to come. Or if you don't want to join the free course because you just want to stay on YouTube, you YouTube junkie, then I'll also link straight to a full 6.5-hour course video I put on my channel. So you can go and watch that. It'll walk you through everything from start to finish so you know how to build a customer first brand. And by the end, you'll be able to get your first sale, which is kind of cool. You follow along with me, I'll build a store with you live, and you can do it even as a complete beginner. And that's the information that I've shared with 25,000 people. In that course, I basically took my course and put it in a simple, easy to follow YouTube video that's 6.5 hours long. So you can go and check that out if you don't want to leave YouTube. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.